Motormouth. Good evening time to you, 446 Arizona with the wave break.
446 out there on Arizona. I got you up in there pretty good. 446. Motormouth Mall waving break.
I got too much other stuff to do. It'll be in the winter time though, I guarantee you that. There, witch doctor be cool. 160-degree mud duck.
Just scanning the band and heard you out there talking and thought I'd say hello. Appreciate the get back. 446 Arizona.
410 or 446. You got them all down out there too. I don't know how you're doing what you're doing, but it's working. 446 Arizona. Motormouth Mall has got a playback for you. Out here. Figure out where it is. Right here.
Say hello. Appreciate the get back. 446 Arizona.
There you go. Right there, right now.
Hey, appreciate the playback, Motormouth.
There you go, Motormouth. Oh, you're back in there again.
Sounded good. I was just kind of toggling back and forth when you were talking. I just put that 3-element Yagi together and been getting it all dialed in, and I just ran some hardline out to it, so I figured I'd give it a shot. Toggling between the Omni and that is kind of a toss-up at the moment. Depends on the second you're keyed there, Break.
Yep, 10-4, that's what 163 hard drive was saying too. The other nature flipping and flopping and all that kind of stuff. I am running circular polarization right now on the Omni, on the dual jam pros. But yeah, check this out. Listen to this. This sounds really good. You're up here about 7S units, by the way.
Appreciate the playback, Motormouth.
There you go, Motormouth. Oh, you're back in there again.
Sounded good. I was just kind of toggling back and forth when you were talking. I just put that 3-element Yagi together and been getting it all dialed in, and I just ran some hardline out to it, so I figured I'd give it a shot. Toggling between the Omni and that is kind of a toss-up at the moment. Depends on the second you're keyed there, Break.
Yep, 10-4, that's what once you got that going out real good over there. Sounds clean, clear, strong, and I like it there, Brayden.
Well, right back, man. I appreciate it. It's good to hear a really good reproduction. Appreciate that, man. It's always get some more data and good info from that. Appreciate it. Sounded good, man. As always, hope everything's well on your end. That circular polarization's working out great for you tonight. Take care, Motormouth Mall. 446 around Arizona. When they're mad at me, they call me Mr. Payne. Take care.
10-4. Yeah, I'll tell you what, things are going good. They're going to look even better soon. My ring rotor's going to show up here in the mailbox. Well, in the mailbox. It's going to show up at my doorstep between 10:45 and 12:45 tomorrow. And 36-inch ring rotor with dual motors, control box, the whole 9 yards. So I'll be getting that. And the antenna I got here designed up is going to be a killer antenna. Anyway, so I'll finally have a rotor and an antenna and the whole 9 yards and an amplifier at the same time. I've always had either a big antenna or a decent amplifier, but I've never had a big amplifier and a big antenna at the same time. So I'm looking forward to that. 446 Motormouth Mall, looking around Arizona. I got now.
Oh, that'll be good. Are you going to call it Resident Evil version 2.0?
I should, huh? I should. I don't know what I'm going to name this one yet. But that's probably as good a name as any. I really like the Resident Evil. But obviously it'd have to be a 2.0. Why not? That'll be its official name, the break.
Sounding really good over here.
Perfect name for it. Yeah, I know that I was reading some stuff you were doing about changing it up, and even on the 3-element, I kind of did the same thing. I stretched it out for a while and for the maximum gain, but then sacrificed a little bit of closing off the back door rejection. So then I kind of compromised on a medium boom length that's kind of a happy medium.
Oh yeah, I would say it's working perfectly well. Yeah, I went through a lot of interesting learning curves on the Aggies. Came up with some weird stuff. I don't know if it's something that most people do or don't do. I'm not even sure I want to share too much of it yet, because it might be something. Well, all I know is I was able to pick up a tremendous amount of gain and bandwidth at the same time. Do you use Quick Aggie 4 by chance?
No, I haven't tried it yet. Is it a good program to play with?
In my opinion, yes. The thing that stumps a lot of people, and that stumped me for a long time, was the fact that, Quick Aggie 4 gives you, see here, 6, there we go, that's 6, there you go. Quick Aggie 4 gives you a bunch of data. It gives you your, on the bandwidth and SWR and the whole 9 yards. It'll show you what your frequency range is and what your gain is across the band, what your front to back ratio is across the band, what your input resistance is across the band, your reactance, and your VSWR. And most people, when they tune up an antenna, they concentrate and they give a lot of credit to and value and weight to VSWR, reactance, and input impedance, or resistance, I should say, I'm sorry. And being that I'm using a remote-controlled adjustable Omega match, I realized I didn't have to worry about trying to please coax. And so all I was worried about is the architecture of the antenna and the gain, and a relatively flat input resistance. And so I opted for an antenna that, is pretty doggone impressive, up in the, 14.586 dB range. But its input resistance, from 27,295 is 11.48 ohms, and all the way down to 26,915, it's 18 ohms. That's really not that big of a spread. And with an Omega match, one of the caps resonates and counteracts the inductive reactance on the antenna, and the other cap takes care of the impedance. And so it's like a glorified gamma match with added features, right? So I'm building that. So I built the antenna to look that way resistive. However, its reactance, instead of being plus above the the center frequency and minus, or I should say inductive above the center frequency and capacitive below it, I made it so that it's inductive all the way from the lowest operating frequency. So just below 26,915, it's 0 ohms reactance, and it climbs up to about 44 ohms reactance at the top end. But it's always about the same resistance, and all that means is you got to tune in or tune out that reactance with an equal and opposite conjugate value of capacitive reactance. President Richard has a timeout on it. Sorry about that. I guess I was keyed up for 3 minutes. I think it's a 3-minute timer. Anyway, so the bottom line is I don't care what the reactance and SWR is. I care about what the gain and the pattern and the bandwidth based on input resistance and stability that way, and then I'll tune the rest of it with the Omega match. So it's something totally different, and it really a game changer. And you can take it one step further and build the very same antenna, and optimize it for easy to do. Optimize it for a 12.5 ohm feed point, and then use a folded dipole to bring that 12.5 ohms back up to 50 ohms again. So you can get even more gain. Anyway, this is the first time I've ever seen anyone or done any high power Omega match tuning on the Aggie. So I'll be interested in seeing how it does. Oh, to you, 446 Arizona Motor Mouth Mall. Sorry about the long key downs.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I'll be interested to see the results. That sounds really cool. that kind of goes along with something I learned when we were working on some of the multi-element key-down trucks. One of the things that Sidewinder shared with me was that I noticed that all of them were getting tuned for maximum gain and pattern, and a lot of times that doesn't result in the lowest SWR, but then there's ways to fix that later to make the coax happy. So along the same lines, that's awesome. Looking forward to the new project there.
Roger. Yep, absolutely. I mean, it's no different than commercial broadcast. You know, we make our towers 5/8 wave or whatever. You know, if you got a really low frequency station and they don't have a lot of deep pockets, they may not have a 5/8 wave antenna, then we got to do some other tricks. But, you know, their antenna is never, ever, ever truly optimized for 50 ohms. It's all done in the LTU, the matching network at the bottom of the antenna. But, and with directional arrays and all that, they get the pattern, the gain, the directivity, you know, adjacent channel station protection and co-channel station protection. They work all that out with the antenna. They get what they get, and then they match it. So, yeah, I think a lot of people get too wrapped up in all that whole thing about the SWR and all that, and it certainly can be done after the fact. Anything can be matched to anything. Any reactive component and resistive complex impedance can be matched to any other complex impedance. You know, so yeah, you're exactly right. Well, I didn't realize all that. It never really clicked in my head. I realized that. I guess I've always known it. Not always, but you know. And then it dawned on me. And I said, wait a second. There's more to be had over here. Anyway, I'll be sharing more, I guess, as I get farther along. But so far, I'm pretty impressed.
Yeah, very cool. You just had to apply it to your practical application. That's all. You knew it all along. I got a friend that works in broadcast, and that's what he told me. I might get a chance to go look at a broadcast site that's got some loaded AM towers on it. He said, forget about what they've got in the pump house. Go to the bottom of the towers and look at the matching network. That's where the magic is.
Absolutely. And if you got a multi-antenna system, you know, you got a big phaser in the transmitter room. That phaser is impressive. And so, yeah, the phaser and the doghouses, that is where the magic happens. Antenna. All that pump house is, yeah, it's great. But you can only get so much out of that. The rest is all up into the efficient use of that power, getting it where it's got to go to do the good it's got to do. No doubt about that.
Joe. Well, appreciate it.
While not turning it all into heat instead of RF.
Say hello to my other friend there in Arizona and give him a shout. Good talking to you as always, man. You take care, and looking forward to the project progressing. 400 Arizona. I'm going to get out and read the mail.
Roger. And exactly right, while turning it into RF and not heat. I'll play that back real fast here, real quick. Here it goes. Check it out.
Joe. Well, appreciate it.
While not turning it all into heat instead of RF.
Say hello to my other friend there in Arizona and give him a shout. Good talking to you as always, man. You take care, and looking forward to the project progressing. 400.
There you go. Motor, mouth, ball. Shut down. Now, wait a second. Heat may not be a bad thing. What if you're trying to cook, something? What if you're trying to cook a hot dog or something while you're keyed down? Then you want the heat to break.
Yeah, well, that all works great if you're trying to make heat, but you know, Motor Mouth. The most impressive array that I saw was actually the 50 kilowatt AM that used to be off of down off of kind of the Mesa area here in Arizona, and I can't remember the engineer's particular name, but it was his work of art, and it was either a 6 or an 8 tower array, and it was a very impressive piece of work, but it had outlived its time, and unfortunately, you know how it goes. Nobody wants to pay for the big maintenance of those sticks. and they had two that got lost in a storm, and so they turned it into a two-tower array, and then after that it went dark, which was really unfortunate. They were running a big Harris, I think it was a DX50 or something like that when I went in there. So, yeah, I'm going to show him some of this stuff one of these days, man. I gotta get with the guys. And you know who I'm talking about, eh? Motormouth Mall. I'll get out of here, man. I'm going to roll it on to another frequency and go have a shout out Mr. Payne there. Motormouth Mall, 639 on my driver. I got down.
All right, there's 639. You guys have a good evening out there. Good to hear you both. Both sounding great on the band. I've got the YouTube gate rolling, so you can either look at it live now or wait for it to get uploaded and whatever they do to process. Takes a while. It may not show up till tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow morning or something like that. But yeah, anyway, good to hear you up in there. 639 and Mr. Payne, 446. You both sounding great on the band out here on the central coast of California. Radio station Motormouth Mall, working as President Richard. Right here, right now, I got down.
And I'll key it up one more time with the bass cranked up for you, because I know you like how it sounds. Motormouth Mall, 639, rolling the check. I'm gone. Have a good night.
I like big bass, and I cannot lie. The bitty kitty whistle's got to step by the side. Oh, that didn't work out so right. 305. I think that was you out there. I heard somebody. Motormouth Mall waving. All right, catch you guys later. I'm back on the side reading on the mail. 205 Big Apple, is that what I heard? Out there on New York? Motormouth Mall working this omnidirectional thing. Got down.
I said 300 is my number there. Just the 300 every time that this diesel car is back wide.
300 over there in the diesel car. Okay, sorry about that. I somehow thought I heard.
Good in my neck of the woods downtown.
And you're not in New York, you're in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. Okay. Sorry about that. I guess I got that all screwed up. Take care of 73s, mobile safely out there. 300 out there in the diesel car out there on Phoenix, Arizona. Motormouth Mall, right here, right now. Got down, breaker. 14. Try something here. That's. I find the right place. Oh, that's. It's the hair bit of hum coming in on the monitor receiver, which is the audio that's feeding the YouTube stream. It's not really on the air. Motormouth Mall stepping. I got you up in there, 300. I got you up in there, 300. Motormouth Mall stepping. Mother Nature giveth. Oh well. Video session. And I didn't mind it. It was on a computer. This audio sound a little bit more like that audio. You can do another one of your tests and see how it shows up on the adjacents. I narrowed it up. I was 7.5 yesterday, and I'm about 4.5 today. They're breaking.
Yeah, it's sounding good over here. It's pouring down rain right now, you know, that goes. Otherwise I'd jump in that Jeep. It's too noisy in here to do a video game. Sounds great, you know, on a set of headphones and a regular old CB radio. It's doing really good.
Roger, good deal. Yeah, and I think, believe it or not, I think there's plenty of bass when I listen to it on the SDR or the Drake. There's plenty of bottom end, so I don't have any inkling to bury the bass control right now. It's doing pretty good, and it sounded really clean and clear on the 7300. So yeah, 2510, 7300, SDR, and Drake are all happy with it. They're break.
Yes, over here it seems like it's got more amplitude. It's not the bass that you normally like, and I'm sure on certain radios it sounds fantastic, but this sounds good on this one. I'm sure it'll sound great in the Jeep too. I tried to use my Jeep to set this for listening. There's nothing connected to it besides an antenna. My speaker is slightly modified in there. I got a roll-off on it also at the very bottom. I'd use some formulas and testing and generator, and use my scope and spectrum analyzer for the speaker to determine where all the noise was, and I didn't cut it off at the top, only at the bottom.
Yeah, 10-4. Roger. Good deal. Well, I'm going to roll with this for a little while. It's definitely loud enough. I'm looking at my scope. I'm making low 97% negatives and 130% positives. But yeah, not nearly as radical as normal. But I've also got the carrier up a little higher than normal. I don't know why I'm running it like this. Sitting at about 7,500. So I suppose I could back it down a little bit. But yeah, I'm up here kind of high.
Roger, keep everything about the same, man. It's slowed down a little bit. I'm going to go see if I can't load up Mr. Mo real quick. And it looks like I got...
Well, it's still rocking around Phoenix.
You might not be able to hear me on the Barefoot Mobile Mud Dog Radio, but you might. Give me a couple minutes.
Roger, I'm rocking and rolling around Phoenix, and yeah, I'm sure I'll hear you in the mobile. I'll listen for you there when you load up Mofo and get up in the Jeep. You say it's still rocking and rolling around Phoenix. Mother Nature's sticking in there pretty good. I'm surprised.
Talking to.
Yeah, absolutely. Good conditions this evening. They kind of settled in, like you said earlier. They were just bouncing around and doing all kinds of weird stuff, but they kind of settled in there, and it's good to have something that lasts longer than 10 minutes there, Bruce. 446 Arizona.
Absolutely. Something to last a little longer than 10 minutes. Yeah, that's good. You know, good short set. And the other thing I'm going to learn a lot about, by the way, is had them up relatively high. Low has been 54. Most of the time, 5 feet. And I'm going to put this one mainly because I don't want to take down the one that I'm on now. So I'm going to put this new antenna up at 36 feet at the front of the antenna, the property of the valley. I think the lower, more useful. I might have put the there before.
Yeah, maybe you were over in Europe and single hop stuff. You left a little bit on the table there. I agree. Single hop close stuff yeah, sometimes lower is better.
Yep, absolutely. And if you look at a dipole anyway, and you start at about the half wave mark, and you raise it up there to about the full wave. A lot happens in that little range, and then of course you get up higher than that. This takeoff angle gets flatter and flatter and flatter. But I think for most of what I do, I think that might be overkill. So yeah, I think it's going to perform. The question is, I didn't measure the tower down, and I didn't want to really going back up until I get down there. But I'm not really at top feet. On top of their down feet. So is 18 feet of it. And I don't think I want to run the Jampro any closer to the beam than 18 feet. Whatever takeoff angle changes, I will maintain 18 foot of distance above the beam, and as far up as I can.
Yeah. Yourself up to something that you were missing out on time. That's good. You got a point.
Nobody else built this antenna that I'm on right now on 11 meters before. No one really knows how to act. I figured, well, how cool would it be if I could put this one up at its optimal height, because it works best at 75 feet. It doesn't like being down here on the ground. I'm I'm down here at 23 feet right now, and it doesn't like it. SWR is kind of high, and I'm sure the takeoff angles through the roof, way up there. Cloud burner. But I think, having this antenna up there at 75 feet and then being able to compare it to the performance of the Yagi at 36 will be a really neat experiment, too.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be a great deal. Maybe that's why that one's working so well just over to Arizona. Probably only, 500-600 miles, if that. Cloud burner wins for the day. Great.
Roger. Yeah, very possible. And I've got the 7/8 inch EIA flange switch. I think I heard hard drive into Mobile. I got the 7/8 inch EIA flange switch, wired to both antennas, so it'll be easy. I'm gonna push the button and little motor walks in and switch to the other one, hit the button again, and it switches to the other one again. And then the unused, whichever of the two is not being used, gets routed back into the studio here into my antenna switch box for my diversity receive. So whichever antenna I'm not talking on becomes one of my alternate antennas I can use for a receiver to break.
Yeah, even better. That's great with the switch. Anyway, let me get out of here, and I'll let you get back to hard drive. Hopefully you can have some fun. Yeah, you guys take care. 446. Appreciate the QSO.
All right there, 446 sounds good. And
I read that same thing that you did. I heard you talking earlier that they're going to open it up, but I don't know anybody as of. I have no desire. I put that right there in the category with sideband, which I like to lovingly refer to as slot bucket.
Absolutely, slot bucket. Yeah, that's in the same group there. I don't have any interest in either one. They're break. Hard drive, are you out there yet? Yeah. A 163 hard drive, are you on the band? thought I heard or saw a carrier up in there. Was that you out there, hard drive? That was somebody, but it wasn't, I don't believe that was hard drive. That was somebody else. All right, Motormouth Mall cruising. I got down right there, breaker. Hello, around Phoenix, Arizona, Motormouth Mall, right there. Good to hear you. I've been there. I see the noise floor changing around a little bit, Mother Nature dipping and dabbing, but you're up in there, break.
Right on, yeah. Just one of those UP317 on the 7300. With the Mako 500.
This 7300 sounds good with the Mako. You no doubt about that. It's working good there, break.
Yeah, I'm in Mako 5000, but yeah. Yeah, I got her off.
Roger. Yep, that definitely sounds nice, clean, clear, crisp. Good audio there, break.
Yeah, you all kinds of fun things with audio these days, huh?
Oh yeah, yeah. The sky's the limit almost. Yeah, there's a lot of trickery, and it's not that difficult. So there's a lot of ways to skin the cat, you know. No. Roger. I'll be right back. Hold on just a second. I grab number 21. I'll be right back. Motormouth Mall stepping.